You know, I've heard the term too much of anything is a bad thing at many points in my life. And something just hit me recently. I've definitely noticed how much I've been living overstimulated without even realizing that I already was. For example, like when I wake up in the mornings, one of the first things I do is put on my headphones, listen to my music, and listen to it while I'm at work. And then as soon as I'm not able to listen to music anymore, I'm just in thought, you know, living in different realities in my brain and thinking up different hypotheticals and imaginative thought and things like that, right? Then I get off work, put the headphones back on, I'm vibing. Then I come home and I'm putting on the TV as soon as I walk through the front door, and I just got music playing while I'm in the shower and then while I'm getting cleaned up, and then there's music still playing all day. And I didn't realize how overstimulated I was until very, very recently, just like how much I really just sit here and I've been programming myself to constantly be stimulated, whether it be through music, through eating, through, just activities with other people, instead of just taking time to really rest and to sit with my own energy. No music, no social media, no internet, just present with the now, with nothing to inherently gratify myself. And it's honestly been such a challenge, I would say, but something that I'm getting better at not stimulating myself constantly to distract myself from just what's right in front of me. Because even though it wasn't completely intentional, I have definitely noticed how much all this gratification was inherently to distract myself from the silence and to distract myself from just how quiet it can get. And then my intuition speaks, and then I start hearing other things outside of just what I'm hearing through the screen. And just taking that time to really just breathe and to just sit with myself and to really realize what is right in front of me and what's really, really important is such a blessing. But it just takes a second to really get there because, I've definitely noticed how quick I am to want to gratify myself. Like the second I feel any remote ounce of boredom, I might be like, okay, let's put on the TV. Let's watch this. Let's watch that. If I feel it physically, I'm like, okay, let's go to the corner store, get some Skittles, get a juice, get a soda, ice cream, whatever the case may be. If it happens to be socially, and I'm craving the attention of like a person, I might just go bother one of my roommates, or I might just walk around, or I might go on social media and I might just scroll TikTok for hours, which not even really on purpose at this point, because I will always be like, let's just watch a few. But then I end up being on there for a lot longer than I thought, which I know I'm not the only person who feels that way. And it's just realizing like how much of all of that stuff can really like just be draining, even though it's fulfilling in the moment, but long term, there won't be fulfillment from those things. You know what I mean? And that's not to say that I don't like any of those things that I just named, because a lot of those things are phenomenal. They're blessings. They're wonderful. But just constantly stimulating my brain and my physical body, basically, can be extremely bad, I feel, for myself if I continue to just constantly look to gratify it and fulfill it. And then even things that like provide long-term satisfaction, right? If I constantly just take the long-term route, I'm constantly just exercising or working on something creatively or doing something that is like, oh, this is going to be great for me in the long run. Even if I do that all the time, I can still get burnt out. So that's why it's just realizing like I need to learn to take more time to not stimulate myself all the time. It's perfectly fine to rest and to sit down and to do nothing, to take a nap. I don't even take naps that often. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of those people who has been pro no naps and no sleep for like the last decade of my life. I've never been one to be like, I love sleeping. I've never said that, like ever. And it just hit me recently that it really is essential to take time to just breathe and do nothing. No gratification, no long term fulfillment, know nothing, just sit there and be quiet. Like, you know, to just be able to do that, to just sit with one's own energy, to really just rest, I feel is extremely important. And I'm looking to get better with that because I don't want to live burnt out anymore, but I also don't want to continue to be overstimulated because either way, I'm drained. And I'd rather be completely fulfilled while also having it just in return, just in loop, being fulfilled, utilizing, resting, etc.